Tell me about the future of augmented reality and how I should be thinking about it. To recognize my voice and start the conversation, creating nodes in 3D space. There we go. Let's think about this. Tell me 5 verticals I should be thinking about. This is early prototype code, so it's not live to the world yet. Tell me about using augmented reality for data visualization.
I have an amazing video for you today that I got from an interview last Friday with Jason Marsh, one of the founders of Flow Immersive. We're going to go through Flow's implementation of ChatGPT inside a mixed reality environment, doing some insane, really beautiful, really powerful, really useful data storytelling. So you do not want to miss this one. It's a little bit different format. I hope you enjoy it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video and if you want to hear more about artificial intelligence and the intersections of human thinking and creativity.
So first it's going to capture what I say, which is, pretty straightforward, but it is kind of wild, even that, to just have it appear in my office, floating over my table here. And it's going to respond with a full set of information, ways I can think about using this. So it has options to discuss real world applications, benefits. What are some of the benefits? Intuitive understanding of complex data sets. That's a pretty good answer, actually. Visualize data in 3D space, providing a more immersive experience. I would actually agree with this. This is live. I didn't make this up. This is actually what ChatGPT is coming back with, and it's actually pretty valuable.
He spoke. That, we'll talk about this in a moment, but that transcribes his voice from voice to text, inputs that into ChatGPT, specifically GPT 3.5 Turbo, and then it is using the output that comes back out of ChatGPT over the API to interact with the Flow Immersive feature set. This is very, very cool.
Nice. And hey, Jason, are you using GPT 3.5 Turbo for this?
Yes, this is 3.5. Yeah, OpenAI 3.5. We haven't experimented with a lot of other models yet. This is just the first step to see what's possible. This is also our standard data visualization environment. This is a force-directed graph. You'll see that build around us, and that's just already built into our environment.
And you saw Jason use the pointer inside the Quest Pro environment to click Tell Me. So that's a manual turning on and off of the AI listening to Jason, and he's now going to go deeper from the original query. So this is a chat with ChatGPT is what you're really seeing.
5 verticals that I might be interested in. So it can tell me information, keep drilling into each one of these dots as we build this and step back out again. So one of the things that is kind of problematic to me with ChatGPT is the fact that it's text. It's tomes and tomes of text. I think there's another way to activate our brains than just looking at text.
Are you using the Whisper API for the voice transcription?
Yes, we are.
The Whisper API is another OpenAI API where you can feed your voice in, transcribes it to text. Super useful and very accurate.
We also expect to use a text-to-speech on the other end, but our early demos, we were using one of the really great text-to-speech systems from, I think it's 11 Labs. It was so good that the first video we made, no one realized that it was a computer speaking, and it kind of killed the demo because they thought that somebody else was faking it.
That's awesome.
They took this output that you're seeing, these little boxes that are the responses by the AI to the prompts that Jason's speaking. In one of the original demos, they fed those responses into the API for 11 Labs, which then spoke back in a near human voice. And what Jason is saying is that nobody believed him. They thought somebody was like play acting behind the scenes, that it wasn't an AI. These things are getting really good.
Tell me 5 use cases for this. So it's going to go ahead and keep drilling here. Obviously, first, you can see that we colorize the node based on whether it's a question or an answer. We are not tied to this default view of the information. It's just that the force-directed graph Actually, this is just straight out of the default settings. It was a quick way to start seeing the data. But there are situations where a hard key might be more important, or lists, etc. It's given me a variety of use cases here, rehabilitation. And then remember, we're talking about healthcare use cases for augmented reality. So like medical training, AR can be used to simulate medical procedures. Sounds like a really straightforward use case. Patient education, used to help visualize medical conditions in helping patients understand their health. We just built a conversation in space.
We just built a conversation in space. You heard him.
I absolutely am in love with it. I was considering like this sort of multi-user collaborative. I know that you're just in your early stages in testing, but you know me, I'm always trying to poke around the edges. And I was just thinking, gosh, if I've got my headset on and you've got your headset on, and we can have this conversation together and we can explore this visual space that you're creating that we would be creating with ChatGPT.
The Flow Immersive application is fully multi-user, fully immersive. It's incredible when you're in there in a kind of a setting where you're presenting data and demonstrations, and now you can bring your chatbot in with you, and that's pretty amazing.
The answer is yes. Our multi-user environment is actually quite sophisticated now, with avatars, with ways that people can be co-present. So you have two people both in augmented reality in the same room. At the same time, you can have somebody else in a VR headset in the other side of the world. At the same time, three people can be sitting on their computers, looking at it on the screen. And the boss is on the road and he's busy, so he's going to see it from his phone at the airport. This early prototype, we don't have wired up to multi-user yet.
Now they can all be in the same room, in the same visualization at the same time, with a ChatGPT-driven AI bot to talk to. That's neat.
Oh, so I saw something in your YouTube demo, Jason, where you were directing the system to create charts and graphs using the built-in libraries of Flow. Is there a possibility to do that based on this conversation?
We will integrate these different demos together, because we do think that being able to see a visualization and be able to have a conversation with it at the same time is a fabulous use case. I don't have that demo live right now.
What Jason's and his team have done here is pretty extraordinary. They've married something they've been working on for years, building this really beautiful data storytelling. I think I'll take that liberty, Jason. It's a data storytelling tool set in three-dimensional space. You're integrating the latest large language models from OpenAI, and I think that's pretty awesome.
So I've use case where ChatGPT gathers the data and then we visualize it in a couple of ways. Give me data for the 20 largest airports in the United States. We are not streaming their answers yet, right? If you use ChatGPT, you know the way it streams. So we have to wait for the whole thing to finish. And we will, of course, implement that as soon as we can, so that we don't have any delays and it feels more responsive. It's also interesting to note that in headset, we expect it to feel like the movies where everything is instantaneous. Not necessarily. This is something that you can use today in your enterprise environment. It's been really important part of our whole methodology at Flow.
This part is so cool. Watch.
So each one of these dots is an airport. I'm looking at SFO. Put this on a US map with labels. There's many templates in Flow, ways of looking at information, and we'll just see if it understands. Oh, good. Yep, it understood pretty well what we're doing here. It didn't give me the label for the name of the airport, but it did tell me some interesting things about it, which is the number of passengers at each one of these airports. So, and the height and size of the dot is related to that. So Atlanta is the biggest, most active airport in the United States.
Before this, in order to create a visualization like that of the data set, you had to prep the data set, upload the data set, go and code the visualization. There was a lot of steps. And in fact, they're experts in doing this. So what you just saw Jason do is it saves so much time. It's like having a data visualization, data storytelling superpower, but it gets better. Watch this.
Literally, some of these visualizations, like the first one I showed you, I saw for the first time last week. This is hot off the presses.
The reality is, though, that it will allow people to dream, pretty big about this, and they'll have all kinds of ideas. I've got 100 ideas in my brain right now.
I agree. That's why I'm here.
So what do we have here?
This is you were talking about, pulling in future data sets and things like with Auto GPT.
If you're a technology leader or even a business leader in enterprise, you need to stop what you're doing and learn about this stuff. I am not perpetuating fear, uncertainty, and doubt here. This is just one of the biggest inventions, probably in the history of humanity. This compares with the harnessing of fire by humans. And I have got so many things I want to talk about with regards to how these technologies are going to supercharge us, give us superhero powers, and usher in this new age.
So I think one of the most valuable enterprise use cases for this is when the enterprise already has a data set and they already have a set of documents that tell them, valuable information about that. Think about maybe a climate change data set, and you said, give me the context of all of the specific PDF IPCC reports, and you have ChatGPT make its answers from your internal data. And of course, all of that would be on your private cloud. It wouldn't be.
So Jason, I've been doing experiments creating artificial intelligence using tool chains like GPT Index and LangChain in particular. And as you know, LangChain and GPT Index probably, they have a lot of data import features. And I've been able to very successfully put some significantly sized data sets in vector stores, use vector similarity to create very customized AI interfaces, including chatbots that do exactly what you're saying, which is tying that private data into like a large language model. I couldn't be more in agreement. In fact, I just know it to be true, right? It is a fact.
I need to pick your brain. I've done early tests to know what's possible, but we haven't done the integration work yet. And I'm sure you have a deeper knowledge of it. So I'm willing to learn. I think that really is a powerful use case for an enterprise, getting their information in a way that's easily visualizable and consumable. And in this case, it's such a dynamic, powerful way of experiencing the data that I think we've got something exciting. Visualize this. So what I'm doing here is I asked ChatGPT to take a look at the data, take a look at the available templates, which are ways that we visualize data in Flow, or at least a set of them. And it just picked one. So it happened to pick the US. Very often it picks a globe. We're tuning that model carefully now. But each one of these is a city. Now that I've got a city, I can ask it some things. You said you were in Kentucky. Tell me more about the economy here. I don't know if Paducah is even the right way to say that city with a population.
You got it.
But it may be able to tell us something about the local economy, and this is just using ChatGPT's large knowledge of the world. Several major healthcare providers, Baptist Health and Mercy Health Flores Hospital, and companies such as Ingram Barge Company, CSI, Dippin' Dots is headquartered in the city. Wow, okay, I did not know any of that.
See, there's a lot going on in Kentucky. And by the way, bourbon, that's right.
On a 3D scatter plot without lines.
So this part's super cool. You saw the large cloud of data that was coalesced down into this United States map with all the points. Then we explored some of those points for digging into data. And now what Jason's going to do is we're going to visualize that data in new ways so that we can gain new insights. This is data storytelling.
It decided that the data set doesn't have really very much information, but in terms of what's on each point, but it does know that each point has a latitude and it has a longitude and it has a country. So it decided to arrange the data.
Just in case, what did he mean when he said it decided? We spoke to an AI, a large language model, OpenAI, GPT 3.5 Turbo, and when given a prompt and all the context of the data that we've created so far and the views that we've created so far, it remembers that. It decided.
In this way, you can actually see the longitude is inverted, but it kind of looks like the United States. And of course, this is the full flow system, so we can isolate any particular continent as we would like. I'm going to do another visualization. So let me do that. Visualize this as a violin chart. We're starting to take some care of the details around this. So like having the points all animate beautifully into space is really nice in terms of the brain science. And so, just starting to work through some of those things that also give you that sense of mastery and control. because it is cool, but it's got to be beyond cool. It's got to really help you accomplish your goal. And so things like animation give you that sense and feeling of mastering control, and that feeling helps you feel efficient and inspired to keep going.
This is a really important point. I love technology just for technology's sake, but when it comes to like a business environment, you need to be productive. Just deploying a bunch of technology for no good purpose is just a quick way to spend a lot of money really fast that you'll never get back and probably not produce the results you want. But with tools like this, you can truly start to be productive with your data in this sort of storytelling part, which, historically kind of what you get is a PowerPoint or maybe a report. Wouldn't you rather see something like this to explain the data? I think the answer is yes. I think it's an unequivocal yes.
What it's done is it's arranged the data by a single axis, which is the region, Northern Europe, etc. It's colorized it by continents. You can see that it's organized it up and down by latitude. So you can see how many cities are at what latitude. Obviously, we're seeing Eastern Europe, some things in Russia, New Zealand, Australia down here at the lower end. Just so many ways. There's hundreds of ways to visualize information.
Hear what he said there. This is one chart. This is a violin chart. If he was to speak to ChatGPT again and ask for a different chart, like a heat map or something like that, it will absolutely crank that out. And it would do it in a moment. It would take a much longer time for a data scientist to create these types of things. Now, are they perfect yet? Absolutely not. This is basically almost an alpha level project release. If you like this kind of thing, be sure and hit the like and subscribe button. It means a lot to me, and it helps my channel grow and get tools like this and words like this and people like Jason and Flow Immersive out to more and more people. And that's really what I want to do, because I think everybody in the world needs to know about these tools. Everybody needs to know how to work these tools and create with these tools so they can get the point they have across.
What if I said I would like to zoom in on, let's see, what do you, can you look into, get a little closer to those yellow ones? Let's say I'm interested in Southern Europe right now. I'm a business manager in Southern Europe, and I would like to dig in a little bit deeper.
So in this case, so that is I consider that a fifth use case, which is not implemented in this version yet, which is be able to filter the data based on voice commands. So the answer is not yet. The simple, operation where I can select anything and then I can say, tell me more about this country. That is a spoken interface, but to use voice to filter as opposed to using legends or other mechanisms.
So in this case, to resolve the query I have, you would use your legend or the traditional flow features to narrow in that data set.
Correct.
That's great. Well, next time we have to find a way to do this from a Starship Enterprise view, because this reminds me so much of Star Trek and when they talk to the computer, especially when they're in the holodeck.
It feels very sci-fi, I got to tell you. It's the closest thing I've experienced to being alive in a sci-fi movie.
Well, if people want to get in line, because they're going to get in line for this, Jason. If people want to get in line, where do they go?
flowimmersive.com/flow AI.
Very cool. Thank you so much for the demo. I am very excited for you and for what we will be able to do with this tool.